Hi, everyone. Welcome to Girl Scouts of Silver Sage Troop Volunteer and Cookie Manager Training for 2026. My name is Kim. I am part of Team Cookie, and we're joined here with also Kim. She's here from Houston, and we are going to roll through our cookie training. We appreciate that you're all here and getting ready for the cookie program. We are going to talk just briefly about the Girl Scout Promise and Law. We'll talk about some of our norms for the cookie program and also the why of the cookie program. We'll describe lots of options. The cookie program is optional, and so are all the different ways that you can participate. We have tons of support available for you this year, more than ever before. And we'll talk about, excuse me, we'll do a cookie program overview, which will take us through the cookie program in chronological order. And then we'll also have a review of the Troop Cookie Manager role and building your Troop Cookie team. Both of those things are critical. Then we'll have a few tips and updates about digital cookie, about cookie booths, and about finances. And we'll reiterate ways that we can give you help. And then we will wrap. All right, next slide, please. And this one's going to be the Girl Scout Promise and Law. Again, we're not going to recite it, but we will talk about it. The main thing here is that Girl Scout volunteers are also Girl Scouts. And so we should expect that the girls use these behaviors, but also that we use these behaviors. And especially during cookie season, it's important to remember that we win when we work as a team. So this is not a contest. It's not this volunteer versus that volunteer or this cookie booth versus that cookie booth. This is all about working together, being friendly and helpful, honest and fair, helping another troop with their transition when it's time to change from their cookie booth to your cookie booth and vice versa. It's about respecting authority. So if the store manager gives you instructions, please follow them with a friendly smile. They are very important to us, those cookie booth partners. Actually, 60% of our cookie sale is now run through cookie booths, and so we need those partners now more than ever. So please, again, help people at all times, live by the law, respect yourself and others, all of those sorts of things. And then also make the world a better place, which means not leaving a giant mess behind, not leaving all those cookie cases behind, just making sure that we are the good citizens that we should always be. Next slide, please. Okay, so our goals for today, we're going to make sure that everyone is aware of and understands the 5 skills that girls learn by participating in the program. We're also going to talk about all the different things that girls can earn and how important program credits are, all the things they can do with them, like camp and other travel opportunities. Then we will introduce our cookie kickoff, which is a kind of Cookies 101 for families. That's taking place on December 18th. We're really excited about that. And then again, we'll outline the cookie manager responsibilities and discuss delegating. And then again, we'll talk about system updates and upgrades. So our norms. I think the number one thing is please, please, please lean into the excitement. We are super excited about the cookie program. We've got all kinds of great new things coming out. Everything from, in-person trainings to foam fingers and all of those things. And we're really excited about all the things we're able to offer this year. The Promise and Law we talked about, please be a sister to every Girl Scout. There's no need to memorize the things that we're talking about today. There are tons and tons of resources that we'll talk about numerous times during our discussion today. So again, no need to take notes or write things down. Everything will be presented to you in another format elsewhere, like in our cookie guides or in Cookie Central. Which brings us to familiarizing yourself with resources. We ask that you please read the emails that we send out. That is the most common way that we communicate to our volunteers. So we typically send the emails through Smart Cookies, and almost every time I will address the email, the subject line as cookie news in all caps, and then just a brief overview of what's in the email. And then that email typically has links to all of the things that we're talking about. And then the other big thing, and this is one of Kim's creations, and that is Cookie Central. Cookie Central is outstanding. There's every single thing you need about the cookie program is there. So we'll talk about that and how to get there. And then contacting customer care. We have a fantastic system where we answer our questions, and it is a big funnel. And so when you contact us, please use customer care. It is critically important because we're going to have some downtime this holiday season. And so getting into customer care is much better than getting into Kim's email box or my email box because we can't access each other's. It's also helpful not to carbon copy us when you're messaging customer care because then that causes extra work because I don't know that she's doing it and she doesn't know that I'm doing it, and I can't tell you how many times that we've worked on the same thing at the same time, and it just we have time to do things exactly once, and so trying to do things 2 or 3 times is just not optimal. Kim, did you have something to add?
I did. So I wanted to add a thing about the emails. So those cookie news emails, they do come from no reply at, I think it's abccookies.com. It could also be from at smartcookies.com. Um, so when you get that first email, favorite the email address that it's coming from so that they always pop back into your normal inbox instead of going into your spam or your promotions folder, um, or something like that. That way you're always seeing those messages pop up. Also, there is a way to search through your emails for the words cookie news because we do put that as the header for just about every email we send through the cookie systems.
That's very helpful. Thanks, Kim. We want to make sure that everybody gets those emails and is able to access them. So again, like she suggested, favoriting that email address is great. I would also recommend just popping into your spam folder every now and again. That also might be helpful. Awesome. All right, so starting with the why. The why of the cookie program is all of the things that girls learn and earn by participating and then practicing skills. And those 5 skills are, ready for a drum roll, please. So goal setting is an important skill, and so is decision making, money management, business ethics, and people skills. I'm sure if you have been part of the cookie program before, you've seen your girls shine in one or more of these skills. They are not only important for right now, but important as they kick off the rest of their lifetimes. Next slide, please. So this might be my favorite slide. This talks about why those 5 skills matter, because it's not just theoretical goal setting, right? They are actually setting goals, learning how to break them down if necessary, learning to adjust them if necessary. Maybe they, blow right past their goal by the second cookie booth weekend, and they want to do more and more. So that lets them set their sights higher. They can also adjust goals down if it turns out that they are on a trip or sick for one of the cookie weekends, they might not be able to reach their goals in the same way. So this skill is huge. Blowing a deadline can mean blowing a huge deal. It could mean that you've missed the deadline for a scholarship or for a job interview or any of those kinds of things. So goal setting is great and super important. Also, someone who works well with others, those people skills, getting to know who you're working with and who you're working for. Again, if it's someone who, is interviewing them for a scholarship or if they want to run for office, working with others is critical. Understanding their customers is also important. Finding out what they are interested in, what they want, what they need. And those customers could be anyone that is a recipient of their work product, right? So that could be their professor, it could be their a TV viewer, their voters, their constituents. That could be anybody at all. So someone who can influence others, same kind of thing. Selling your ideas, selling your confidence in yourself, advocating for yourself. All of those kinds of things is part of influencing others. And then the biggest one to me is being honest, trustworthy, and reliable. Those are also parts of the Girl Scout promise and law, but those business ethics, just really, again, something that voters value, that their partners in their household will value, investors value. So those, again, super critical, and they all matter for the rest of their lives. And so, what does a girl get out of the cookie program? Well, my argument is everything. They get everything out of the cookie program. There are powerful outcomes, lifetime of better prospects, better choices, better options, educational benefits, potentially higher income. And I know a lot of folks think of entrepreneurship as owning your own business. And that is one component of it, but it could also be managing a business. It could be coming up with new ideas, new ways of doing things. I feel like Kim and I get to do that all the time here in the Girl Scout Cookie Program on the council side. We get to come up with new ways to market the program and new tools that the girls might use, like the foam fingers that we've handed out this year, or the car magnets, ways for girls to communicate out. So you can also be entrepreneurial when you're volunteering or at school coming up with new ideas, or if you're in a maybe an alumni association or something like that. Also, I wanted to share that Silver Sage has the most generous program credits plan to pay for camp and travel and memberships, and we will talk about those specifically in another slide. The cookie program also funds adventures at the troop level, at the service unit level, and also at the council level. Proceeds go to each one of those groups. And we are planning a full review of the rewards, program credits, and all of the proceeds. We are going to look at all of those things this coming quarter. We'll have a committee look at them, put together with possibly some girls, volunteers, staff, all of those sorts of things, and make sure that everyone has a good look at it. To the extent that changes are recommended and made, those will be discussed this time next year for implementation in the 2027 cookie program. And before we move on from this slide, before we move on from this slide, I want to share a little bit about my cookie program experience and what I got out of the program. I was a fairly shy girl, one who would stand behind my mom's leg, sometimes cover my head in her shirt, and I really gained some success early on when I reluctantly participated in the Girl Scout cookie program. I was not excited about being in front of a cookie booth. I didn't know what to say. I didn't feel comfortable. I felt very awkward. And the first couple of customers were so excited to see me. Oh my goodness. Hi, Girl Scout cookies. I've been waiting to find a booth. And I love Girl Scout cookies. I eat them all the time, or I buy them every year. And it was really exciting for me because by the fourth or fifth customer, I was, hi, I'm Kim and I have Girl Scout cookies. And I was very proud to be a Girl Scout at that point and very proud to have Girl Scout cookies. I could not get enough of the positive feedback and success that I was feeling. And I had my mom sign me up for every booth that was available that I could possibly attend. And my dad went to some with me and my mom went to some with me. And I just really took off. And that gave me so much confidence to now speak in front of a group and reach for the stars when it comes to the career. I was a director at Simplot at age 26. That's pretty exciting. I was recruited and moved here from Florida. And so, my family has benefited in millions of ways. It's the reason why I live in Idaho, was because of those skills. I feel like now I can march right up to, not a random example, march right up to the cookie baker and the vice president of Girl Scout cookies at the cookie baker and negotiate. Yeah, make sure that we're getting the very best deal for our money when we're buying cookies, negotiate the price down, negotiate better terms. And so I feel very competent and bold sometimes, just going out there and getting what I want. And sometimes it's for me personally, and sometimes it's advocating for someone that works for me or advocating for a cause that's dear to my heart. And it's, I'm always asking for things for Girl Scouts. I'm asking for booths, I'm asking for donations, I'm asking for all kinds of stuff. And I just couldn't give more credit to Girl Scouts and the cookie program for the successes that I've seen in my life. This last year, I was one of Idaho Women of the Year from the Idaho Business Review. This year, I was one of Idaho 500, which is a kind of a leadership recognition program. And not to be bragging about myself, but I'm bragging about the cookie program and all of the different doors it can open when girls are able to practice and learn those skills. So I hope that every single girl gets the opportunity to participate in the Girl Scout cookie program. And I also know that Kim sold cookies when she was a girl, and now her daughter is a cookie seller. Kim, did you want to add anything?
Yeah. So I think one of my like kind of core memories as a Girl Scout was going to summer camp, and I participated in a day camp. And the way that our day camp worked in my council growing up was um they had a program aid section. So once you hit I think it was a fifth grade as a junior, you went into this program aid section. And this kind of taught you some of those leadership skills that you needed in order to manage a younger unit of girls with the assistance of their leaders. Um, and I almost failed out of that, actually. My leader who had been running my unit turned to my mom and was just like, I don't think I can pass her in this unless like, she were to do something, because I was not very confident in giving instruction to my peers. But the minute I got into a younger unit, I took off. I ended up passing with flying colors, and then I ended up being partnered the next year with one of my now longtime friends, um, and who's mentored me in more ways than one. She a couple years older, and so she kind of mentored me through high school and things like that. And now, like I said, long-term friend. Um, and through those different things, like I became the confident, person that I am now. Whereas before, like I I didn't talk very much. 8-year-old me never would be here doing a recording, speaking in front of people. I would have been hiding, probably still hiding behind my computer screen or my mom. Just it added a level of confidence that I didn't even know that I needed. Um, but it has completely shaped the way that I am now.
I love hearing that. And I think just about every girl who participates or even gives it a try
Mhm.
benefits in different ways throughout their life.
Yeah. I know one of the things that we had mentioned at the in-person training is we would much, much rather have 50 or 1,000 girls participate brand new and sell 50 packages of cookies than have 50 girls sell 1,000 packages of cookies. Um, because yes, those go-getters, we know we have them. They're out there. They are fantastic. They earn some amazing rewards for themselves personally, in addition to all of the amazing program credits and things like that that they can do with them. But those 1,000 girls selling 50 are the ones giving it a try. They're the ones learning that skill, having that core memory, and being able to learn how to be that kind of functioning little charismatic leader that we all know lies in every single one of our Girl Scouts.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. Next slide, please. All right, so we talked about the skills, we talked about program credits a little bit, but girls also can earn badges and pins when they participate in the cookie program. You can see here on our grid, each year a girl can earn a cookie business badge, a financial literacy badge, and a cookie entrepreneur family pin. And then once per level, they can earn an entrepreneur badge. So again, here is the grid. It's available on Cookie Central and elsewhere online. And as Kim mentioned, we really do want each girl to have the opportunity to participate in the cookie program if they want to. Again, this is an optional program, but we want to encourage them to give it a try. Maybe start door to door with some neighbors that they already know. Growing up, we had neighbors on each side of the house and across the street that we were close to, and those were an easy place to start because we knew them. Sending a few marketing emails through Digital Cookie, that is super easy. That doesn't even really require in-person interaction, right? They can send those emails to aunts and uncles. It doesn't have to even be someone nearby. It could be someone that you know who moved away or something like that. They can have cookies shipped to them. And then have them participate in one cookie booth. That one cookie booth opportunity for me just changed my life. And I can't say enough great things about the opportunity to try it. Next slide. All right, so troop proceeds. As we discussed, troops earn money for every package sold by girls in their troop. The highest level at this time is 85 cents per package, and that's when your per girl average is 500 packages or more. PGA, again, stands for the per girl average, and that is calculated by the total amount of cookies sold by your troop divided by the number of girls participating. So if there's a girl that was uploaded into Smart Cookies and hasn't participated, she's essentially ghosted the troop and isn't really participating in Girl Scouts, much less in cookies, they do not count as part of that denominator. So they do not count, some people would say, against your troop when counting that PGA. So if there's an extra girl in your roster, I wouldn't worry about the extra girl. What I would worry about is if there's some girl that's supposed to be in your roster and is not appearing there, I would get on that right quick. All right, next slide, please.
Another thing to double check on that roster is that the parent email addresses are correct and that they're spelled correctly. We have a few times every year that, oh, hey, it should have a 123 after my name in my email or whatever it is. But if that parent email is not correct in the Smart Cookie system, that is what Digital Cookie reads in order to get the emails into Digital Cookie for the parents to get them, for the girls to get signed up and registered. So those emails are also really important.
Absolutely. Thanks for that reminder. So girls can earn all kinds of fun things this year, and we've got a couple of brand new things for 2026. First, the membership renewal piece. You'll see that on the top row at 300 packages. That is an easy yes or no. So it's not necessarily an opt-in or an opt-out. It is, are they choosing to renew? We will communicate to families to proactively get in touch with your troop cookie manager, or to get in touch with you to let you know whether they plan to continue and whether they'd like to use those program credits to renew. And if they don't, please also reach out to them and find out whether they want to do that. For the initial order reward, you'll see that on the bottom row. That is something that used to be like kind of an inexpensive fanny pack, maybe a water bottle, something like that. And I gotta tell you, this reward we've chosen this year is a big, fuzzy, fluffy, soft cookie blanket that will also be an instant reward. And so what that means is we will get those delivered, shipped out to service units to give to girls through their troop. And they should have them by cookie booth season, so the girls can wear them at their cookie booth. If they're sitting or want to wrap it around their shoulders or something, that will be a possibility. We also have 2 new rewards levels. So a few years ago, we added the 3,000 level, and Kim said we've got some go-getters, and boy howdy, do we have go-getters. So we have added 2 additional rewards levels at 3,500 and 4,000 packages. And so that means girls can also choose more bonus council adventure credits to do things in the summer of 2026. And again, we mentioned that we're going to do a full rewards and proceeds review in the spring. Next slide, please.
One more addition to the membership renewal. We have made it a little bit more clear to parents that using that membership renewal will be using $65 of their program credits that they are earning at that level. So at that 300 package level, they earn $75 in program credits, and 65 will go towards that renewal, and then 10 will go towards camp or whatever else she decides to use it towards.
Terrific, thank you. So speaking of troop proceeds, there are all kinds of ways that you can use them in the weeks and months that follow the cookie program once they've been earned. They can be used on troop travel, troop camping, even reserving some of our Girl Scouts of Silver Sage properties. You can do field trips and one-of-a-kind experiences. This is a place where troop leaders will find out how welcoming and wonderful the community is to Girl Scouts, just ask if there's something special that you can do with the girls. If you can have an animal encounter at the zoo or sleep over at the zoo or something that girls wouldn't normally get to do in their day-to-day lives. People are so open and welcoming to providing those great experiences, whether it's touring an ambulance or going backstage at a concert or all those kinds of things. Don't hesitate to ask. Field trips, again, awesome places for girls to learn skills and build their friendships. Girl Scout ceremonies and traditions, those are important as we move through the Girl Scout programs. Service projects, higher award projects. The Girl Scout National Convention is coming up this summer. And so that could be something where you decide, again, voting as the troop, making sure that they understand and give their input as to how the funds are being spent. They might decide to, I don't know, give $400 to supplement each girl who wants to go to the convention, or maybe they supplement the camp cost for either girls who aren't able to make it work, or maybe they decide to do it for everyone. A way that could be presented is, girls, do you want to use $200 of your cookie money to make sure that all of your friends can go? Rather than pointing out a single girl who asked for financial aid, to me, I think that's more of a private thing. But you can phrase it in such a way that the girls can decide if they want to attend together. That is one way that they could do that. Yes, Kim, what you got?
I was talking to another troop leader, and she was saying one of the things they were planning on doing is that um, they're going to make the offer to the troop that the troop was going to cover that initial $50 deposit for all of the girls to go to a camp together. They tried to do this last summer and it didn't work out. They didn't get enough girls interested in going to the same camp. So this year they're going to look at that camp brochure that should be coming out any day now, and looking at it and going, okay, all of the girls want to go to the art camp up at Cap. So for all of the girls who have said, yes, I'm going, this date works for me, they're going to register them on the website and pay the $50 deposit for each girl so that all of the girls can register at the same time to get into camp, so that they don't have like one girl that, had to register late because she needed a campership and missed out on the opportunity to go to camp. Those camperships are still available, even if the troop does sponsor or provide a troop scholarship or anything like that towards camps. Those camperships are still available. We have some amazing donors that say this money needs to be used specifically to send girls to camp or to send girls on some of those adventures. And so if you do have those girls that might need that little bit of extra help to get to camp, that is a great way to try to do that.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thanks for sharing that. Next slide, please. All right, so we had shown the order card, which actually...
The rewards card.
Yes, we have shown the rewards card, which has maybe 40 little boxes on it and just enough room for a teeny tiny picture and maybe some words, but not a full-on description of each item. So you'll see here we have a page online that describes each patch, each reward, and gives as much description as we have at this time. Some things we shop for later and are able to get better deals and maybe include more things in the tent package or what have you. So please do ask us, though, if there are details that you need as part of your girl's decision on which reward she'd like to earn. Please ask. I'm sure other people have that question, and we will give as much information as we can. We also wanted to share a quick picture of us at our Cookie Boss lunch with our CEO, Angela. We had 3 top cookie sellers who you can see on the right side of the picture. They were absolutely delightful to work with. We had the opportunity to go together to a woman-owned business, meet entrepreneurs, and just have a good old time together. And of course, Angela provided a lot of inspiration and fun. And we'd love to have your girl be a cookie boss. That opportunity is available to the top 3 sellers throughout our council area.
Yes. And then also with that Cookie Boss event, Angela is willing to travel. We got her permission to say that before recording this. So she's willing to travel. So if a girl from Idaho Falls or Pocatello or Ketchum or anything like that, somewhere that's not the Treasure Valley, Boise area, were to earn that, she would definitely make the trip out towards you, so that the girls don't all have to be located in the same vicinity. These girls all just happened to be from the Treasure Valley area, so they were all able to attend the event together.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, yes, the program credits. So our program credits are earned in addition to the other items. So for example, at the 625 level, your girl is going to get that stuffy, the adorable Squishmallow style black-footed ferret, which everyone's just dying to see. So we can't wait till it's here. We have a sample so we can show you, to the extent that we are able to do that. We custom ordered those this year. But when the girl earns her stuffy, and you can see here on the grid at 600, she also gets 180 bucks worth of program credits. They are, you could save them up for multiple years. You can use them to select your camp sessions. And then program credits are given automatically in the system. There's no need to order them. There is something I wanted to share though, and that is that there are also something which we alluded to before called bonus council adventure credits. And those are not automatic. Those are choices that girls can make at the level of 1,000 packages and above. There are some limitations to them, and they expire after this first summer. So those, while you can combine them with the program credits that you've saved up to go to something like Disney, they do expire at the end of middle of September, but in 2026. So those cannot be saved up. We also have the best program around. We have not only the highest value of program credits, but also, again, the opportunity to save them up for multiple years. Many councils, we've heard of one that doesn't get their program credits out until July, and that's after camp has taken place. So we get ours out in May at the latest and get them out to everyone so they can register for camp and get all squared away there, make their plans. And we're excited that girls are able to earn as much as they do. We love that.
Yeah, so my daughter with her program credits with our new council, I think she can only earn like a maximum of like 50 program credits.
Ooh.
That come with all of the items and things like that. Although I do know they have a way to not get the tchotchkes, which we don't offer at Silver Sage. But like that, I'm looking at it going, how am I supposed to send her to camp on $50 of program credits? So they do offer in their rewards lineup like a free camp session, but you have to sell 4,000 packages of cookies to get it. So
wow.
I don't know what we're going to do this year, but I think she's looking at going back up to Cap and just figuring out how we're going to get to Idaho this summer.
Gotcha. All right, next slide, please.
Speaking of Cap.
Yes, speaking of camp, we have 3 delightful camp properties. We have Camp Echo, which is a day camp in the Boise downtown area. Girls will be able to explore geology and plants and space and all kinds of great things. There are some programs there sponsored by Micron. Then we have CAP, which is Camp Alice Pittenger in McCall for Brownies through Ambassadors. There are water sports there. It's on the lake, which is beautiful. And then we also have a brand new water trampoline and sessions about art, tiny wings, flower power, leadership camps, and all kinds of great stuff. And then we have Camp Tam, which is located in Swan Valley in the Tetons. It is an overnight high adventure camp for juniors through ambassadors. And there are horses at some of the camp sessions. You'll be able to try outdoor photography, nature magic, all kinds of great things. And each one of the camps will give the girls skills. They'll meet new friends, and they're all terrific programming put on by camp staff that is dedicated and cares about the girls and their experiences. Next slide, please. Okay. Oh, yes. So we're excited. This is one of the first times we've shared that we are also going to have a STEM camp. That is going to be in the Treasure Valley for grades 3 through 5. And registration on that is going to start on January 20th at the same time as the other camps. It is heavily subsidized by Micron. We have a grant, a very generous grant. And so the 4 day camp is only going to cost $50, and it's going to be offered for 3 weeks, the week of July 6th, July 13th, and August 3rd. During that week, 4 of the days will be camp. That has not been decided yet, but for example, it could be Monday through Thursday, it could be Tuesday through Friday. Again, that hasn't been decided. However, we will have more information about that and you will not miss it. It's going to be everywhere. And also on our next slide, I wanted to share that we are going to have our camp um, registration and camp brochure. The brochure itself, our marketing manager, Anne, is working on it. She's pretty close to done, I think. So you'll be seeing that all over the place. We will let you know in your service unit agenda, in our monthly newsletter, on our website, on social media. We will let you know when that camp brochure is ready so you can work with your girl and decide what camp she wants to go to. And if it's multiple camps, that's great. We've got plenty of program credits and bonus council adventure credits to earn her way to camp. Again, we have camperships available. That is money that we can't use on anything else. So please do ask if you need assistance. And the last day for early squirrel pricing. So that's when it's kind of an early bird pricing. There are discounts available on every session of our in-person camps. And that last day is March 1st. And then camp merchandise ordering, that is a hard deadline there. We have the availability to order things in advance, but we are not going to order a whole lot extra. My recommendation would be to not even wait until March 30th because that's easy to forget. But when you're in there in the system on January 20th or shortly thereafter and putting together your camp registration, the merchandise will be available right there. So it's very easy to just add a shirt or add a tchotchke or what stuffy or whatever it is. You can do it right there and then.
Yeah. Additionally, registration does open earlier this year. It is opening on January 20th. And as Kim mentioned, if when you're registering, make sure you're adding your camp merchandise, especially if you're planning a session at Camp Tam. They're going to have a more limited trading post this upcoming summer, just because there's not a lot of space. So they're highly recommending that if you want a camp t-shirt or hat or stuffed animal or whatever it is, to pre-order that when you register.
Yes, you're right, especially important for Tam. This year, we are also offering the Disney trip as an entrepreneurship incentive. The trip is June 26th through 30th, and the expense is $2,000 price per girl for the trip. That does not include spending money. You can go as an individual girl if they've completed 5th grade, so that means rising 6th graders, and have sold 750 packages of cookies this season. You can also go as a troop. So for this option, our council staff does all the reservations and scheduling, and then once we arrive at the resort, so after we're through the airport and all of those sorts of things at the resort, then your troop can break off and do its own thing. It is a 5 day, 4 night trip, and it includes all the flights, hotels, transportation in Orlando, park tickets, and food. And just like a summer camp session, there will be a $50 deposit due upon registration. All of this information and additional details will be available soon. So again, keep your eye on our newsletter, our service unit agenda, and all sorts of things. It'll be available. Next slide, please.
I think one thing that I heard you mention at our in-person that I thought was just great about this trip is that not only is it a fun, trip to Disney for these girls, but it's also learning experiences. They learn how to budget their meals. They get a gift card for every meal, and they either have to figure out if they have enough money for their breakfast or if they can save some for lunch. They learn how to navigate through an airport. And things like that, learning how to get onto a plane, how to behave on a plane. And some of these girls, they would never experience this sort of thing without a trip like this. And I know my daughter, she's pictured in there, she's the short one. She is so excited to go back to Disney, but she told me she wants to go back specifically with the staff that she went with before. She's like, Mom, I don't care if you come with. I want to go back with them. They have to come on vacation with us.
It is a great program. Like Kim said, there are skills during the trip, like navigating the airport, but then also ahead of time, our basically Disney captain, Courtney, puts together all sorts of pre-trip events and get-togethers where girls learn that they need to hydrate in South Florida in late June. Um, and how. They
And they're
also need to,
fantastic. They're so well put together. She's so thorough. And not only does she explain it to the girls, but the parents can sit in on them and learn all of the things. And then if you happen to miss it, like there was one where my daughter attended with grandma and grandpa because I was in another state traveling over the summer and or before summer. And she had a like a PowerPoint that she emailed out later on that I was able to go and look at. So it was just fantastic. So well thought out and put together, and 10 out of 10 recommend this for other girls.
absolutely. All righty, next slide, please. Ooh, options. All right, so your girls have lots and lots of options for participation, and this is essentially up to you as the troop cookie manager, as well as the girls and what they want to do and what their parents are able to accommodate. The first option is online and ship only. That is where maybe Uncle Steve in Houston orders cookies online, pays online, and the cookies are delivered directly to him from the warehouse, which means you never have to take possession of the cookies or the cash. That all happens automatically for you. Then there's an online girl delivered option where the customer still orders the cookies online, but they request that they be delivered by a girl. The parents have 5 days to approve that order so that it's someone who is actually nearby or they are actually going to visit. And if they don't approve that order within 5 days, it goes away. The person who's shopping has the opportunity to still buy the cookies and have them shipped or donated. Then option 3 is doing a cookie booth with their troop. So this is a troop event, and so this is where 2 registered background checked adults and 2 Girl Scouts are at a stationary location, 2 or more Girl Scouts. We recommend not having too many there because then it becomes playtime and or can be confusing to get individual girls, explain to them what their individual roles are. Next is a mom and me cookie booth, which we've also been calling a Girl Scout and grown-up cookie booth. This is where a registered Girl Scout, and if she has any, Girl Scout registered siblings, and they can be there at the booth together. So not any tag-alongs, not little brother, not any infants or anything like that. And then 1 trusted adult. So that's if the family has someone that they trust with their kid, their cookies, or their money. Well, actually, kid, cookies, and money, right? So they'll be supervising the cookie booth. Then it can be anyone. It doesn't have to be a registered volunteer. Then girls can use their paper order forms to take orders. They collect money in advance, get cookies from the troop cookie manager who gets them from a cupboard or during their initial order, and then delivers those cookies to the customer. It's very important that they collect the money up front. It is so hard to take an order. Let's say you're taking an order from your next door neighbor and you take the order, but the girl does not collect the money. So she has to go back once the cookies are there, and instead of just dropping it on their porch and leaving it there for them if they had paid, if they don't pay, she has to go on Monday, but they're in the bathtub. Tuesday, they're cooking dinner. Wednesday, they're at work. Thursday, they're on vacation and they're gone for the weekend. And so how many times does she have to go back and get the money? Maybe he doesn't have his wallet or doesn't have cash or what have you. So please have the girls collect the money if they're at all able to at the time they take the order. Then there's also walkabouts, and this is where the girls go door to door with their order forms or door to door with cookies in hand. So this will be after the week of February 13th when cookies are delivered throughout our council area, and girls can go door to door with their cookies. I remember doing that with my little sister. I put my little beanie cap on her, my brownie beanie, and we went door to door with cookies in a baby buggy. And we were so cute. It was probably not even fair to the customers to do that to them. But the thing that we like about the walkabout with the cookies in hand is that folks nowadays and every day it gets more and more that people are ordering on Amazon, they're having their groceries delivered, and they expect things today or tomorrow. They expect things soon. And so going door to door with the order form, if you do that the first couple weekends of January, they're still going to be waiting until mid to late February to get their cookies delivered. That's not super compelling, and certainly not as exciting as seeing a boxes of cookies in your wagon or what have you, and being able to just eat it right now. There's nothing like instant gratification, right? So these options are, again, options. You can do one of them, two of them, five of them, all six of them. That is, again, up to you and the families and the girls.
Another thing with that walkabout is if you did take orders on your order card from your neighbors and stuff like that in January, and when you go to deliver them, have that little wagon of cookies that are extra so that you can go, oh, here are your cookies. Did you need anything else? Like, because maybe they didn't know that the new cookie came in a cute pink box, and now their daughter, who popped their head around the corner, is like, I need the pink one.
Oh, yes.
Right? Yeah, happens all the
Absolutely.
time. Those little extra, and then doing a little walkabout, maybe like one of the last couple weekends in March, just for those last minute, like, hey, this is your last chance to get them. My daughter and I did that the one year, and she had like no Thin Mints left after that.
Well, and I even see it as customer service. As a customer, if somebody came to me in, the middle of February and delivered my cookies, or I purchased cookies from them, you can be darn sure that those cookies are gone, towards the end of the season in the second weekend of March. So don't be shy to go back around with people. Hey, I was just checking to make sure you have all the cookies you need. Well, you know what? Come to think of it, I'm having guests and I'd love to serve Thin Mint with ice cream or something like that. So don't be shy about revisiting some of your girls' customers. So we have lots and lots of support for you. Kim and I spend the majority of the year starting, March 15th. As soon as the cookie season's over, we're already working on support for the following season and putting together surveys and making sure we have everyone's feedback. We've also changed this presentation quite a bit. We've given it 6 times in person, and every time after we got the feedback, we made adjustments to the slide. So this is the #1 best version of this training session, and we hope you enjoy it. One of the best pieces of advice we have for support is to gather some volunteers around you. Get their support. This is just one example here of how you might choose to be supported, but you can give them roles that are different than these, but we think it might be helpful to have someone who's good with Sign Up Genius to be your booth coordinator. They can put in there the dates and times of all of the booths, and then let the families sign up for what they're available for and what their girl wants to do. It would be great to have a troop treasurer who would be at at your troop meetings, taking cookie money from girls and writing receipts. The troop leader, if it's not also you, it would be great to have their support answering questions, and maybe they could help load and unload orders. An inventory coordinator would be great. If you have someone that's internet savvy, maybe they could do the digital cookie troop site. All kinds of opportunities. We also have the availability to give other users some other access to make changes in the system and or just read reports. And so, for example, we talked about the troop treasurer taking money at the cookie, once again, at the cookie table at your troop meetings. They could obviously take the cash or checks, write receipts, but then you could also give them the access to go home after that meeting and enter in the girl transactions, the money that they've received from the girls. That is super helpful and something that they could have access to. What we need to know, though, is here in the orange box, if you want another volunteer to have access, please email customer care and tell us who it is and what you want them to be able to view or edit. So again, the booth coordinator, maybe they can reserve booths. The digital cookie person can edit your digital cookie page. The troop treasurer can enter girl transactions and run reports. Again, whatever it is, we are happy to do it. What we recommend against is having someone do all of the things that you can do. Yes, we can see who did what, and we also, because you have signed the troop cookie manager contract, you are still responsible for all of the things that they do. And if it's not someone who is experienced and or not someone who has received this training or does other specific smart cookies training, it's possible that they could make some big mistakes in there. And not that we can't fix them, but boy, that just takes an awful lot of time. It can be stressful for you and for us. So again, if you have other volunteers that you want them to have access, you got to let us know. And the sooner you let us know, the better. As you're aware, the girls can start selling cookies on January 2nd. And so it's important that you get us that information soon. Next slide, please. Okay, so support throughout the cookie program. You see our volunteer, I call that the peacock shape, but you can see the volunteer, our ideas of what those volunteers might help you with. Again, you can do it however makes sense for you and your families. We also had in-person cookie training sessions. This is your online version. We have cookie bites, which are short topic overviews for things like cookie booths and digital cookie and all of those sorts of things. So those are available on our YouTube channel. We'll have just-in-time training. So we have, for example, when it's time for the initial order, that takes place midweek, I think on maybe a Monday or Tuesday. And so 2 weeks before that, on a Friday, we will have a just-in-time training recording posted on our YouTube channel. Then the following Tuesday, we will have a Q&A session, a live Q&A online session where you can come in, ask us any questions, or if you need any support about the initial order, and then you will have that information just in time to place your initial orders that following week. So all of the very specific, very technical things when you're allocating the final cookie sales credits or all of that sort of thing, we will have just-in-time trainings on how to do all of those things. We also have all of our training recorded on our YouTube channel, which is linked from Cookie Central. Cookie Central on our website has links to our updates and FAQ page, which is updated often and regularly during the system or during the program. We also have the cookie guide. So there's a family guide and a troop guide. There are also guides for digital cookies and smart cookies. That sheet that we showed you that has all the details on the cookie rewards, that's linked from Cookie Central. Also, digital cookie has its own support, and so does smart cookies. The smart cookies support is given by ABC, and it is 24 hours a day. They have phone and email support. Digital cookie is more of a kind of menu of questions and answers, and that's available on their website 24/7 as well. And then we have customer care. That's the funnel of questions that we get and also suggestions. We want suggestions and ideas too. And we have a customer service manager. Her name is Susan. She's magnificent. And she has a lot of internal Girl Scout knowledge. And so she's able to dole out those questions to the subject matter expert. And it is also helpful for us if you have many questions, if you would just shoot us a quick email for each question. That way we can, Kim can answer one question and I can answer another question. And then maybe the third question is about camp. So Susan would send that to Dana, our camp manager. So it's harder for us if we have to compile all of your answers and then try to get you the answer. This will give you multiple answers at different times, but it will get you everything faster than if we have to compile everything.
Also,
go ahead.
Also with sending those messages to customer care, if you can give us as many details as possible, like if there's an issue with one of the links on Cookie Central, which link are you having problems with? Because until I can get that link fixed with our one person that can update the website, it might be easier for me to just send you a copy of the PDF so that you can download it yourself. Or if you're having something with smart cookies, or you have a parent who needs access to digital cookie and you are communicating for them, we need to know who the girl is. Having your troop number is very helpful, especially if you are part of more than one troop. And then what the issue is. Like, she got locked out of digital cookie, needs her password reset. The more details you can provide us in that initial message, the easier it is for us to help you, because then we're not going back and forth between you going, oh, um, which girl is it that needs help? Which parent needs help? Is it the parent that is registered with them, or is it a secondary parent that wants access to it? Having all of those answered initially means there's less back and forth with you and us, and that we can help you faster.
Thank you. That's definitely true. The more information, the better. We can't tell you how many times we get emails that just say, a parent has this issue or a parent has an issue. Great. Which parent, which issue? And then if we're, going back and forth with 8, 10, 20 troops, that it just, we, as we stated before, we have time to do everything exactly once. And if we're having to go back and forth, other things fall through the cracks, and we really don't want that. And again, the more information we have, the sooner we can get your information to you and or the family, the better customer service we're able to provide you. Then Pinterest. Pinterest is great. It's a lot of fun. Google is fun. You can find all kinds of ideas, maybe ways to ask customers to buy cookies, or what a cute cookie booth could look like, or what kind of flyer might you build. Super fun. And there are 111 Girl Scout councils, and every single one of us, sometimes frustratingly, do it differently. So we have different deadlines, different ACH percentages, different cookie sale percentages. So we're a heavily chocolate location. That's not the case in other places. So please, again, Pinterest and Google for ideas. Chef's kiss, they're wonderful. And also, if you need actual information, any specifics, please come to Cookie Central here on our website. That's where you need to find it. We also have a Silver Sage Cookie Volunteer and Parents Facebook group. That's a great place to kick ideas off of other volunteers and see what they're doing and see what they suggest. The Cookie News emails. And then you, as the Troop Cookie Manager or your service unit cookie manager, you can be resources for each other. So please do reach out. Make sure you have contact information from the folks at your service unit level, and it's going to be a great program. You've got all kinds of support. I also wanted to share for Cookie Central, that is the hub. That is Cookie Hub, Cookie Central, Cookie Station, Cookie. And you reach that by going to our website, which is girlscouts-ssc.org. And up on the right-hand side, there are a few words there. My GS is one of them. Cookies is another one. If you click on cookies, right up there at the right-hand section of the upper part of our webpage, you will get directly to Cookie Central. Oh, and there's a quick look at Cookie Central. Awesome.
Yeah. So here's
So
our main page, and you just click on cookies, and you're on Cookie Central. And this is through the computer version. The mobile version does it very similar, but I think there's like a 3-bar menu that you have to click on to get to cookies, but same thing. And then here you've got your contracts for our service unit cookie managers, for our troop cookie managers, everything you need to start, some important dates, how our proceeds are allocated, all of the things. We've got your troop guide on there and that is ready to go. We've got a schedule of dates, digital cookie guide, smart cookies guide, which are all of the things you could need for those programs. And one of the things, I just updated the digital cookie guide. So this one may or may not be printer friendly right now, but it does go through at the troop level, at the girl parent level, and then at the customer level too. And then there's a section that goes through the mobile app and things that you can do on there. And I took all of that directly out of PowerPoints that were created by GSUSA for us to train volunteers and parents on how to use digital cookie. So everything is in there, comprehensive, should be clickable for different pages. Also got some great tools in here. We also have a family guide for your parents, a link to our cookie bites and our just-in-time trainings. And then in the forms and tools section, there's some great tools for your cookie booths, for your girls. There's some certificates and thank you cards, and I think we'll go over those a little bit more in a couple of the other slides. But so this is Cookie Central. It's got all the things. And then I think down here at the bottom, it talks a little bit about our mascot this year, the black-footed ferret. And there's also a couple of cool links here to learn more about them. And even the Louisville Zoo in Ohio has a black-footed ferret cam. So you can click on it and you can actually see the little critters interacting with each other. It's pretty cool.
Love that. Okay, so the bottom line then here on this slide is that you have all kinds of support throughout the cookie program. You can always reach a Kim through customer care if necessary, and we want to make sure that you, your girls, and your families have the best possible cookie season. So here's a quick update overview then of Cookie Central, and that is that it has all the guidebooks, the family guide, troop guide, and user guides for our systems. They are terrific and so useful. And there have been many updates to the systems this year, so we have a slide on that as well. Not sure how soon it's coming up, but we'll see. One of the questions we get quite often is, where do I get? So where do I get an order form? Where do I get a money envelope? The program credits? Where do the rewards come from? Where does the news come from? So typically things come from the baker or from us at the council, and we distribute those typically, again, to the service unit cookie managers who hand them out to the troops or have the troops come pick them up or bring them to the service unit meeting or what have you, but then the troops dole everything out to the families and the girls. Information flows the other way too. So if families, that's okay. If families have information or ideas, or if the troop has information or ideas, please let that flow back to the service unit cookie managers who can share that with the baker or council. I specifically am not out with you, and I guess Kim's not either now that she's in Houston, but we're not out with you on the day-to-day cookie sale from the girl and family perspective. So if you have some ideas, please share them. Similarly about the systems, if there's something that you think would make your life easier about digital cookie, if you can articulate what the change is and why the change would matter to a troop volunteer or to a family, please, you're welcome to share it with us and we can send it to the proper authorities, if you will, or you can send it on to Digital Cookie or to Smart Cookies yourself. They are even further removed from the cookie sale than we are, and so they aren't out at cookie booths and don't know that one thing or the other might make a huge difference for you. So all of the changes that they made this year were based on feedback that they received from families and volunteers, and we would like for that to continue. So again, please keep those ideas flowing, and the more specific that you can be, which page, which button, which report, that's all. They need all of that information to be able to make that change for you.
We do have several team members at GSUSA in either the regular cookie program or the digital cookie side of it, that they are Girl Scout parents and leaders. And so they do see that other side too. So they kind of see all that full circle of things. And I know some of the updates that have been made for this year were because they looked at it and was like, this would be really nice to have. But all of the updates that were made this year were kind of to improve the girl and troop experience on Digital Cookie.
Terrific. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so we talked a little bit about the Family Cookie Kickoff. That is on December 18th, 2026. So if you are watching this in time to get your girls there, that is awesome. We know that there is a limited amount of time during troop meetings, especially if you're only meeting for 60 or 90 minutes every other week. So it's hard to get all of this information out to the families. We are going to take that on for you. We're also going to record it. So if you're not able to get folks there, we're happy to share the recording. It'll be on Cookie Central. And we'll be talking about the 5 skills and their lifelong value. Also, the value of program credits and why they're important. Specifics on camp sessions in Disney World. Options on the ways the girls can participate in the cookie program. We'll also talk about the badges and the family entrepreneur pins. Those are terrific. And then we'll also go through some of the girl rewards and some specifics on that. We might also have some guests. So it's going to be a great great time, lots of learning, lots of fun, and something to take some of the burden of communicating all of those things off of you so you can focus on your troop meetings and your girls. So, one of the things that we hope that you will do is hold a cookies and camp meeting with your troop families. This can be at the same time as or at a different time as your regular troop meetings. It could maybe be after a troop meeting, for example. But this is where you distribute your cookie program materials to everyone, make sure each girl gets an order card, a rewards card, a money envelope, etc. Share information for the troop cookie manager, which is you in most cases, the local cookie cupboards, because families can pick up cookies, and customer care, make sure they're able to reach all the resources that you can. There are safety measures in place, so please review those. And then find out what the girls want to do this year and how much it costs. Work with them to figure out a budget to see what their goals need to be for selling cookies. Make sure that the caregivers know what the girl's goal is and agree. So, of course, every single girl is going to want to go to Disney World. I want to go to Disney World. It's a great place. And it may not be feasible for some families. They might not have transportation to cookie booths. They might not be able to accommodate that goal for whatever reason. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a limitation and a boundary for that family. So make sure that the caregivers know what the goal is and then agree that it's accomplishable. And then talk to the girls too. Do they want to attend a specific camp session together? Do they want to maybe carpool to a camp location? All of those things can be discussed during this cookies and camp meeting. In addition to, if you have boundaries, don't call me after 9 o'clock. I won't answer the phone. Whatever those are, make sure that the families understand that too. They don't need 24-hour-a-day access to you. And frankly, we don't want you to burn out. That's the most important thing to us, is that you have a safe, happy, exciting, fun cookie program without difficulty.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so we have some program essentials that we'll go over real quick with you. First, we have our baker partner. It is ABC, which stands for America's Best Cookies. They've been baking Girl Scout cookies for 88 years. They have many baking facilities. They also have backups for every ingredient and packaging component, so we are not worried about supply chain issues with them at all. They also have an award-winning distribution system, so we are not worried about trucks not making it here. They fill our main warehouse pretty early on, so we're not worried about cookies not making it for initial order delivery, for cupboard delivery, and that sort of thing. So we think they're a great partner, and we have signed for them through the 2030 cookie season. Next slide, please. So the cookie lineup is very similar. We have a new cookie, though. That's the new Explore Mores. It is modeled after the flavor profile of Rocky Road ice cream. It's delicious. We are sending them out to cookie rallies for girls to try. We've had some at troop meetings and service unit meetings. I think they're delicious. We also still have vegan varieties. There are 4 of them, and you can see that with the little green dot next to the cookie picture. They all are kosher, halal certified, use certified sustainable palm oil, no high fructose corn syrup, all of those great things that are listed there. They're still $6 a package, and there are 12 packages per case. Next slide, please. So the gluten-free cookie, the main thing here is that it does not appear on the printed order forms. Yes, girls can still take orders for them in January. We ask that they not take orders for them in February so that there are enough to fill all the orders from January, and hopefully enough to have some at cookie booths. We've already placed our order for all of the caramel chocolate chip cookies that we're going to get, and we did that, I think, in September or October. We cannot order more. They are very carefully made in a gluten-free area. They are stored in a gluten-free area and shipped in a gluten-free area. So they are taken care of very carefully. And so again, not printed on the order form because we're not going to get more. If a girl wants to take an order for someone, and not somebody that just wants chocolate chip, but somebody who is, celiac or gluten intolerant, they can place their order on the order form. There's a column to the right of all the others, and you can put gluten-free and, put the numbers there. The gluten-free cookie is still $6, just like all of the other cookies. Some councils charge a different amount for different cookies, but we do not. Next slide, please. All right, so getting started as a Troop Cookie Manager. It is already mid-December, so you should be registered for the 2026 membership year already. If you are not, please do that ASAP. You also need to be an approved volunteer, sign the Troop Cookie contract, all of those kinds of things. So you also, after doing all of those things, will receive an email from Smart Cookies to register in the system. And so we hope you will do that as soon as you see that email. The green arrow here is pointing to something that is absolutely critical for you to understand, and that is that our council offices are going to be closed from December 20th to January 5th. It's wonderful. It's delightful that our CEO and senior leadership want to give the staff some time to rest and recoup after a very, very busy and long year. And some things cookie related are happening during that time. For example, girls can start selling on January 2nd. Will be closed. There are lots of cookie rallies between January 2nd and 5th. Will be closed. So getting things done before then and submitting them and getting them into customer care is absolutely critical. Now, we talked about the funnel, right? This office closure makes it even more important that you use customer care to communicate your questions and needs with us, while the rest of our staff is going to essentially be off for 2 weeks. Kim and I will not. Sorry, Kim. I know this is not your first time hearing it, but but you will be. Yeah. So Kim and I will be checking the customer care emails. Not only can we see what's already been divvied out into our product program funnel, but we can also go into the main funnel and pick out cookie questions. So we will do that. I am committed to doing that at least once a day during the holiday weekend, Christmas Day included. So please get your questions to us. Again, it's absolutely critical that you give us all of the information. We have some other staff members who are involved in things like coding a troop leader to be or troop volunteer to be the troop cookie manager. So Kim and I can't do that ourselves. She has specific things that she vets and changes in the system, and the smart cookies and eventually digital cookie can only enter in a person if they are in the database. So our membership database, I think last year and maybe the year before, is talking now to our cookie systems. So we can't just put you in because we think that is a good idea. It has to go through our vetting process and then into the system, and then she sends us a file of who to update, and then we send it to to Smart Cookies, who then updates it to digital cookie. So it is not an instant thing by any means. It's all mostly manual, and so we need your help to get that information sooner than later, please.
Also, when you sign the Troop Cookie Manager contract, that is a Google form that we've created. It does not connect with our membership system. So that information, just because you've signed the contract, doesn't like flag an email. We manually go in and check it. Our data person goes in and she takes that list and she codes everybody after she's made sure that they fit the certain requirements that are needed for a Troop Cookie Manager. And then, as Kim said, she sends that list to us. So it is a very manual process, and not having access to all of the different people every day is going to make that process just take a little bit longer. So bear with us, be patient. We will get you in there. We will get your girls selling. It just might take us a couple extra days, depending on who is available at the time.
Absolutely. All right, so a troop needs to have a troop cookie manager to participate in the cookie program. So someone needs to take on the role, even if you're going to be sharing it with someone or divvying out some of the different tasks. There needs to be one cookie captain for us to have a point of contact with each troop. All right, next slide, please. So serving as the troop cookie manager, you are the captain of your cookie team. You hold the Cookies and Camp meeting in early January. Make sure the girls know about their local cookie rally. There are several cookie rallies throughout our footprint, our council footprint, and they're all kinds of fun. We've ordered all kinds of goodies for the girls to have, pom-poms and lanyards with menus, pens, clipboards, all kinds of great things. So please do have your girls get to their cookie rally if at all possible. Share the excitement. This is a really fun time. Delegate, ask for help when you need it for deliveries, booths, counting money, storage, pickups, whatever it is that you need help with. And it is critical that every single time money or cookies are exchanged, you absolutely need to get a receipt, receipt, receipt. So receipts are important for a million reasons. They transfer responsibility for those cookies from you and your troop to the individual picking them up. You want to make sure that you count all the cookies, make sure your numbers agree with the person who is receiving them, both sign the receipt, and then each person gets a copy. It is critical, and we'll talk about why in a future slide. So we've talked about some cookie systems, and we just wanted to explain the difference for those who are new. ABC Smart Cookies is the volunteer-facing logistics system. So that's where you will manage your troop inventory, manage and track the girl payments. This is also where you will order cookies for the troops during your initial order and then your subsequent planned orders. And then this is also where the volunteers will order rewards. The digital cookie is the girl-facing and customer-facing point of sale system. So this is what allows the girls' customers to check out, if you will. It also will manage the girl inventory, and then there are ways that the girl can place her initial order through the system and review rewards and make selections. Those things don't transfer over to Smart Cookies, and we'll show you when the time comes how to pull the reports and which reports. We'll give you that information. Next slide, please. Okay, this is exciting. So Digital Cookie has a whole bunch. I know we're just excited.
I think this is like my favorite slide.
Lots and lots of updates to Digital Cookie. And first is a big reminder that Digital Cookie, the mobile app, that must be re-downloaded and reinstalled every single year. So that app is where these changes live. And so you will need to download it to your digital device. So once again, Girl Scouts of Silver Sage will absorb the costs of credit card fees incurred through Digital Cookie this season. We are not going to stop you from opening a Square account, for example. However, we can't protect you from any consequences of doing that. So if someone does a chargeback, if there are fees incurred, if you get a tax form for using Square, that is also part of your choice. So please use Digital Cookie for online payments. You can also use Digital Cookie. You can do cash payments as well. And so that's, I think, the third bullet down from here. But Digital Cookie will accept PayPal and Venmo during in-person transactions. It will also indicate
all transactions.
Oh, yes. Yes, the new part is the during in-person transactions.
Yes.
And then for hand customer now transactions, the customer's information is optional. So rather than going in and typing in their information or just auto-filling your information again and again and again, that's not necessary anymore. Digital Cookie also is going to have a cash payment option for the transactions. So if you are consistent about using that at a booth, it will tell you exactly how much cash you should have at the time your booth is closing. It also will tell you if you have someone who buys 6 packages and gives you $40. If you enter all that in there, it'll tell you that their change is $4, and it'll go over all the information that you need. Digital Cookie also is going to sync more frequently. Not all the information talks back and forth, but we'll make sure you're aware of what that is. And you also have access to the Smart Cookie and Digital Cookie guides on Cookie Central, and that will give you all the information you need.
Now, one fun thing about the cache that I noticed yesterday when I was going through, actually, I don't know if it's a fun thing, but important thing. The cache section is only going to be available for the in-person orders. So if you're taking orders on your order card and somebody needs to pay through Digital Cookie, you won't be able to mark that as cash. That'll still go on your order card as cash. Hopefully that'll be something they can update next year, like they did with the Venmo and PayPal for this year. But as of right now, that is just a hand your cookies to your customer now sort of thing.
Cool. All right, next slide, please. Okay, so the program timeline. We will review this quickly with you as you also have access to the calendars and other things. Speaking of calendars, if you're going to do a screenshot, this would probably be the one I would suggest. So the cookie season is unfolding right now. We are preparing for the cookie program. This is where we have training and website setup and all those kinds of things. And distribution to the families and the family cookies and camp meetings. Then, starting January 2nd, girls can get a jump on the cookie program by sending marketing emails to their friends and family online only. That's the first week, so January 2 through 8. Then the initial order period, when the actual program kicks off and girls can start using their order forms and website, that's on January 9th. Then you can advise girls to take more orders if they are wanting to be, this is the goal getter period, we used to call it, but it's about 2.5 weeks of being able to take orders. It's after the initial order has gone in, so you've already ordered your cookies for your troop, and the cookies aren't here yet, so the girls can go out and still take more orders. The cookies arrive the week of February 13th, and cookies will be here throughout the season. So March 15th is when the cookie booths end, and the season technically ends. Then we have the cookie closeout from March 16th to 25, and then you'll also order rewards around that time, and then we'll be distributing the rewards in May and June. Hopefully the program credits will go out in April is what we're planning, but we have all kinds of fun things to send you during phase 7. So the preparation for the cookie program, again, council offices are closed, so please, 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 if there's something you can send us that needs to happen, the sooner the better, and the more details the better. But this is where you're attending the cookie training, which you are doing right now. Thumbs up for that. Yay, thank you. Make sure everyone's registered, distribute all the materials, recommend the cookie rally to girls, make sure the families have all the contact information they need. And then we're going to roll into phase 2 very shortly. January 2nd is when girls will be able to sell on their own websites. This is for their friends and family. And you'll also be able to get your troops unique link and QR code. Girls will have access to their QR code. So if they want to, have a big poster printed or printed on their shirt, they can start working on those things now because on the 9th, they'll be able to publicize that. And then we also have information coming out about cookie booths, but this is a great time to make sure that families understand how to request those booth spots. Very shortly after the 8th, we'll start the cookie booth selection process. And so if you already have ideas on what days you'll be available to do cookie booths, and or have really high sellers in your troop or people who are really excited to do cookie booths, make sure you reserve enough booths during that process so that you have not only enough for your troop, which is what we want you to start with, but then also if you have a bunch of Mom and Me or Girl Scout and Grown Up troop or troop booth spots, please reserve them. And or make sure that the families know how to request them from you. That's super important. Okay, so phase 3 is when we have the initial order period is what we call it. This is where you collect money at the troop meetings. We suggest having a little table somewhere where maybe the troop treasurer is collecting funds. Again, count the funds with the person who's turning them in. Make sure that the accounts agree and that you sign receipts and give those out. We also recommend that someone, typically the treasurer, but whoever has access, can update Smart Cookies in the Finance tab, deposit the funds. This is also the time to sign up for the cookie booths. And you will know what cookie booths you have gotten through the process in time to plan and do your initial order. The time for initial order is on January 26th. You can do it a little bit earlier than that, but please try to do it later in the day on the 26th because there are going to be people who try to squeak in under the deadline. And once you submit your order, you are locked out of being able to edit it. Kim, what you got for us?
So a couple of thoughts. One, with that initial order going to Smart Cookies, it is a toggle. So there is a button that you should click that signifies to your service unit cookie manager that your order is entered and is complete and is ready for them to look at. However, once midnight on January 27th hits, you will be locked out of that whether you switch the toggle on or off or not. But I had another thought. What was my other thought? Oh, depositing. So Kim has her receipt. Also deposit. If you have cash, you should not have that on hand for more than a couple of days, if at the very most. You should be making regular deposits, whether that is daily, every other day, once a week, depending on how much cash you have on hand. Just making those deposits in the bank, then you're not worrying about at the very last minute going, oh my gosh, the ACH is coming out tomorrow. Do I have enough money in my bank account? It's there. It's been there the whole time. You've been tracking it through your finance tab and through your receipts, so that making those deposits should not be difficult. I've also heard troops that sometimes when they go to make their deposits, they will have deposits per girl, and then they will have deposits for the troop. And so that they can get individual receipts from the bank. Some banks are fantastic about adding little notes at the bottom of the receipts so that they can say, okay, I need to deposit $200. This is for Stephanie's cookies. I need to deposit $400. This is for Mary's cookies. I need to deposit $4,000 or whatever it might be. This is for our troop cookie booth that we did for the last weekend. And all of those different transactions can be done on their own receipts. The banks tend to be very flexible with us when it comes to cookie time, because they know that not only do our records need to be looked at by us, but they'll eventually need to be looked at by council also, us being troop cookie managers.
So one question that we get asked over and over and over again is, can I take my girl's order card to work? Yes, yes, you can, and please do. Our main goal here is to make sure that the Girl Scout participates in any way she can. So for example, she might not be able to go into your secure federal NASA building and sell cookies.
Sorry.
She could, however, make a poster with her pitch or with her goal and ask that mom or dad put it up in the break room. She could create the thank you notes. She might be able to pack up the cookies. She might be able to deliver the cookies. These are all skills that we want the girls to practice. So please, please, please let them be involved as much as they possibly can. All right, next slide, please. All right, so the initial order, we talked about those just-in-time trainings, and we will absolutely have more information and more training about this initial order, so please don't fret about it. But the initial order includes all of the cookies needed to cover your troops' girl orders from all of their order cards. Some troops recommend taking pictures of them and having them send them to you so that you can place those orders. We also want to order all of the girl delivered orders from Digital Cookie. We'll show you what report and how to pull it. You also want to get enough cookies for your first 2 weeks of booth sales, and then anticipated sales from additional door-to-door orders taken before the cookies arrive. So girls will have their order form after your cookies are ordered, but before they arrive. So we want to make sure that girls have more cookies if they want to do door-to-door orders. And then at this point, you'll also be ordering a cookie blanket for each girl who sold 350 packages. After your initial order is submitted or the clock strikes midnight on January 27th, you will no longer be able to make changes to these orders. You will still be able to access Smart Cookies and run reports and do all the things, add financial transactions, but the initial order is finished. On the 27th, if you have girls who, maybe needs to take another order, maybe Uncle Steve has his bachelor party and wants to bring 2 cases of Thin Mints because he loves them that much, then your service unit cookie manager can help you on January 27th. Then on January 28th, the council is going to review orders. And if your order is an extreme outlier, so maybe you ordered too many peanut butter, but you're going to a peanut butter convention, and so that's something you want, those extra peanut butter. But if we see that it's way off of our typical product mix, and we've been doing this for many, many years, and we have data from many years prior to that. So we're pretty sure that our council is going to sell, 29% Thin Mints and 22% Caramel Delights and that kind of thing. So we have that percentage available to you. And if your order is way out of line, we will call you or email you and say, Volunteer Sally, your order is off in this way, off from what we would expect. And so would you like to make a change, or would you like to leave it as is? You always have the option. You're the one making the decisions. This is your Troops Cookie program. So you are empowered to make those decisions, and we want to help you every step of the way. And if that means making sure that you understand that you don't have enough Thin Mints to make it through the first, half an hour of a cookie booth, we will let you know that because it's critical to have those. There also may be a outlier in the quantity of cookies ordered. So if you are, in a super small town with no stoplight and you've ordered 20,000 boxes of cookies, I might reach out to you and recommend that you maybe hold off on ordering that many and use the cupboard instead. So, because you don't have to take on all of the cookies up front. All right, next slide, please.
Also, I did want to add, Cookie Central has a like how many cookies should I order in my initial order. It is the same as the cookie booth workbook. It is the very last page, but you can put in, okay, I think I'm going to have an average of 100 packages of cookies that are going to sell at a booth. I have 4 booths in that those first 2 weeks of booth sales, and so I'm going to order, this many, and it has the percentages on there. So all you have to enter is this is how many booths I have, and this is how many packages I think I'm going to sell per booth. I also have listed on there our council averages for different levels. So if you are a brand new troop with daisies, there is an average on how much our daisy troops last year sold. If you are a troop that has daisies and brownies, you are in the multi-level group. So you might have to take some of that brownie data, some of that daisy data, and kind of play with it a little bit to figure out what that per girl average is going to be. But it's a great tool, and I highly recommend the use of it.
Great. All right, next slide, please. So phase 4, this is that goal getter period we talked about. You'll continue to collect money at the troop meetings, update those cookie finances, depositing funds at the bank regularly so they don't get lost or used to buy video games or Dungeons and Dragons dice or something like that. Make sure those deposits get to the bank, and then set up and communicate your plan for the cookie pickups, because cookies are coming starting on February 13th. So we have a 5-day delivery window with AirVan. They will call each service unit cookie manager and delivery station and make sure that they understand what day and time they are coming to the best of their ability. All right, so then the next slide, cookies are here, and we're super excited about that. The troop cookie managers will pick up their initial order cookies from the service unit cookie manager, and then you want to distribute the cookies to your girls and families as soon as you can. Make sure you separate by variety, count, agree on the counts, and sign a receipt. Hand those out and make sure everybody gets one. Again, that transfers the responsibility of the cookies from you to the family, and each receipt says that on there. So there's no question about who owns those cookies and who is responsible for paying for them. Next slide, please.
Some of the receipts you might get from your service unit cookie manager for your initial pickup might be a printed receipt from Smart Cookies. It's still just as binding as the paper receipts that come out of the receipt book.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. So when cookies are here, that's a great time to do those instant gratification walkabouts. So the girl here in this picture, she has a cookie cart. We love those because instead of having to go dig through the cookies, there's a clear side with zippers, and the girls can just see what cookies it is and just pull out the flavor. So we love those. We have those available at our store. Individual girls can go on walkabouts. A troop can go. Maybe they go down streets, some on the left and some on the right, and they go down the streets together. All kinds of ways to do that in a fun and safe way. And girls can take payments, cash, check, or credit card through digital cookie. Make sure you're safe. And then we have an idea here, which is to consider leaving contact information at houses that don't answer the door, or even houses that do. Maybe it's a different thing, a calling card for if a customer wants more. Oh, here, thank you so much for your order. Here are your cookies, and here is my phone number or my website in case you need more. Super easy. And then again, if someone's not answering the door, maybe you slide a card, leave it on their doorstep, or put something on their doorknob. Make sure that they are able to contact you as well. All right, next slide, please.
Note about that. If you are going to tape something to somebody's door, I recommend painter's tape. That way you're
Oh,
not
yes.
peeling off any paint from their doors or windows,
Great idea, especially when it's so cold out here.
right? Yeah.
So we have something called a cookie cupboard. And what that is a place for you to pre-order cookies and pick up more cookies. So you have one initial order. That's initial, that's first, that's once only. Then we have these mini warehouses that are run locally by typically by volunteers. So the hours and days may vary. And then there's also in Smart Cookies a note section that may tell you that there is a suite number, an entry code, information on which entrance to enter a storage unit facility, things like that, or information about an aggressive dog. So bring T-bone steaks, whatever it is, that information will be there. And also, we want to share that when you place an order for additional cookies or for replenishment cookies, it's called a planned order. Planned means planned. So it's what you anticipate picking up. It's okay to edit a planned order. It's okay to delete a planned order. It's okay to have two planned orders at once. You might consider having a planned order for your troop, and then maybe there's a family that wants to pick up more cookies than your car can hold. You can place a separate planned order for them and give them the order number, and they can go to the cupboard and pick it up. What you need to do though is make sure that your receipt matches whatever it is that you take. And our cupboard volunteer will make sure that similarly the receipt matches what you take or what the family takes, and make sure that there are autographs on the orders. One thing we do need to make sure is clear is if you have a family picking up cookies from a planned order or picking up a planned order of cookies, you still need to do a troop to girl transfer to transfer the sales credit and the money responsibility to that girl. Lots of things happen between ordering cookies and having cookies show up in the right places, in the right quantities, and the right varieties at the right time. Yeah, did you hear that? That's a lot of decisions for us to make. So 9 varieties times, approximately 10 cupboards over 4 weekends. That's 320 decisions. And so we need your help to make all the right decisions. So when you place your planned order, we'd like for you to do that by noon on Monday. So you've had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You've done your booths. You know what your booths are going to be for the following weekend. And you also know what your inventory is. So if you need more cookies, place your order in Smart Cookies by noon on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we build our orders that we send to Airvan to tell them where to put more cookies. It might be to remove some cookies from one cupboard and put cookies in another cupboard. So if they get the order on Tuesday, that gives them essentially Tuesday afternoon and all day Wednesday to see the orders, get staff, make sure the trucks are available, and then take the cookies on Thursday to the cookie cupboards so that troops can pick up orders on Friday for weekend booths. So you see that there are a few days between your planned order and our availability to get you the cookies. Now, in many cases, the cupboard will already have enough cookies, and we just want to make sure that there are plenty more for girls who have additional goals, for troops who maybe don't have enough storage area for a lot of cookies. We want those cupboards to be stocked, but not overstocked. Kim, what did you want to share?
I wanted to share a lot of our cupboards will hand out cookies on a first come first serve basis. So if they are low on trefoils and we were not able to wiggle them around to get them some extra, they might run out. And if they do, they should be putting a note in Smart Cookies that just says, hey, we're out of trefoils right now. And if that happens and they do adjust your orders, you are more than welcome to take those little sheets that they give you and take a picture of it. That way you have the change for your record, and that in case they accidentally click the button that just says, oh yeah, send that one through. Oh my gosh, I forgot to edit it. And then you can look at it and go, wait a minute, I didn't actually pick up a trefoil at that planned order, and you have a copy of that and they have a copy of that, and you guys can verify that against one another. Also helps for us if you come to us with oh my gosh, the cupboard accidentally put in my order in packages instead of in cases, and I don't have enough cookies in Smart Cookies right now. we can make that adjustment too. If you have that receipt that says, or a photo of your receipt that says, okay, I took 10 cases of Thin Mints, but I only had 10 packages of Thin Mints that got put into the system. Those photos, they protect you, they protect your cupboard. And that just taking a quick photo of any changes on them, especially when there are changes, that makes it easier for all of you. We did mention it's okay to edit or delete them. That may or may not be something you can directly do. And if you can't, your cupboard manager can. So when you get to your cupboard and you go, hey, I accidentally placed 2 orders, I need the order that contains 15 cases of Thin Mints, not the one that contains 5 cases of Thin Mints. You can delete the order that has 5. And then they can go and they can delete that one from their cupboard list of orders.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And also, we want to make sure that you understand that you can swap with other troops at any time. You can swap or hand over cookies. They can, the person who's accepting the cookies or receiving the cookies has to be the one to initiate that order, but it would be a troop to troop transfer. And again, you can swap with other troops at any time. We will have a spreadsheet on our Cookie Central where you can see who is offering up cookies and who needs or wants to get rid of cookies. You can also swap at the cupboard, but we have not determined when that will be. We will announce when that piece starts. And so then you'll be able to swap, and it'll be a 1-for-1 swap. So you won't be able to return cookies to the cupboard. You'll be able to swap flavors at the cupboard. And the cookies, when you bring them in, they need to still be in sellable condition. So they can't be open, they can't be wet, they can't be stinky. They need to be in sellable condition. And similarly, when you swap with other troops, make sure that those cookies are something that you'd be proud to have on your table as well as them. We do accept damaged cookies or cookies that, maybe the package wasn't sealed all the way. Your cupboard will replace them. So just bring those to your cupboard and they will swap them out 1-for-1. Next slide, please. Booth scheduling, we talked about that a little bit, but you'll have 3 rounds of cookie selections. On Sunday, January 11th, you'll be able to do 2 booths at 2 different locations. Then on Wednesday, you'll be able to reserve 3 more booths for a total of up to 5. And then in round 3, you can do any additional spots you plan to operate. And after a troop gets all of their troop booths scheduled, then you can select Mom and Me booths if girls have selected them. Pay attention to the start times. Make sure you can arrive and close out one booth and arrive at the next one in time. That may mean you can't have them directly at adjoining times clear across town, but you could do 2 at the same Fred Meyer, for example, if you want to even switch out girls so they don't have to stay the whole time. Making sure that the cookies can get there is important. We also have some giant stores that have 2 doors. And so just making sure that each door is operated as a separate booth, not necessarily in your system, but for safety purposes, that there are enough volunteers and girls because they are separate. The first 2 weekend sales are robust. So when you have those first couple of rounds, we recommend getting a nice big Fred Meyer or a nice big Walmart on that first or second weekend. Those are typically the busiest. We also ask, yes, please do sign up for as many booths as you can operate. And also we need you to remove the booths that you can't operate. As soon as you know that you won't be able to do the Fred Meyer on Main Street on Thursday, please delete that reservation, so that A, other troops can pick it up if they need it, and B, that people who go to our cookie finder and see that you're listed there, that you'll be there, they go to that store to expect that you have cookies and you're not there. So please be a sister to every Girl Scout, make the world a better place, and fulfill your commitments, but also if you can't commit, then please delete that spot. Next slide, please. So the Smart Cookies booth divider, we won't go over how to use it here, but we ask that you do use it and that you use it regularly. Girls really want to know how they're doing towards their goals, and if we're not allocating the cookies from each cookie booth in a timely manner, they have no idea where they stand, no idea how many more cookies they have to sell. So please use that booth divider. Money is not divvied up on the booth divider, it's just for the cookie sales credit. And the reason is because the system assumes that all the cookies sold at a booth are paid for at the booth. So money, again, doesn't change hands with the cookie booth divider, just sales credit. And we'll show you how to use it in just-in-time training session and our cookie news emails, the troop guide. We have screenshots. It's not difficult to use. Next slide, please. All right, so closeout. This is another place where we will have all the information you need when the time comes. So the council secured booths end on March 15th, but girls can keep on selling. So what you'll want to do is if a girl hasn't met her goals because she was sick or in Tahiti or what have you, you are encouraged and invited to place a pending order for the cookies they need. The cookies must be picked up from the cupboard by March 24th, and the cookie sales credit will need to be assigned. We also call that allocated to all of your girls by March 24th. Then you collect the final amounts due. If someone is not responding, make sure you note all of your attempts to contact. Emails are great because then you've got the receipts, right? Make sure you deposit all the monies into the troop accounts. The final ACH withdrawal, which is the money owed, will be withdrawn on April 8th. And then you need to keep all the records through the end of the cookie season. And once everything is closed out, either submit it with the annual report, or better yet, April rolls around, you're done, everybody's paid up. Give all the delivery receipts, pickup receipts, bank receipts, all of that stuff to your troop leader, your troop treasurer, whoever it is that's going to be submitting that annual report. Next slide, please.
Because they're going to ask for those for the annual report this year, right? All of the receipts?
Yes, they will need them. Absolutely, all the receipts. So rewards. We will be placing the rewards order in Smart Cookies by March 26th. So the 24th is when all the girls have all their credit for sales. So you'll know how much each girl sold. Then on the 26th is when you'll order her rewards. And then shortly after that, we will start processing all the program credits. It is a multi-day process, but we have checks and balances to get everything done. And we ask that you distribute those program credits, especially ASAP. That girls are waiting for it for their adventures, for camp, for all kinds of things. So please get those out to the troops and then to the families. Then we have rewards coming in from the council. They might be shipped directly to the girls. We'll let troop cookie managers know. And then most of the under 1,000 package rewards and patches come from ABC Bakers. And so it's helpful if you get those out as soon as you can as well. Girls are anxious to get their stuffy, and after the program ends, it takes about a month for the order to come to the baker, to the warehouse, and then get packed up and shipped out and all of that stuff. And they're shipping it out to all 40 service units. So they have 100 each baker has approximately 60 customers of councils, and these are big councils. So please be patient and also get those rewards out ASAP. All right, next slide. So money handling. We've already talked about why it's important that girls collect their money up front when selling in person, writing a receipt for every transaction, and making sure you make regular deposits into your bank account. When you're at the bank, we think you could consider stocking up on 5s and 1s. You're already there. People will have, for a $6 package of cookies, you're going to need to give out 4 1s if somebody gives you a 10, right? So make sure you have plenty of 5s and 1s. And we have 2 bank withdrawals. We talked about the final balance being withdrawn on April 8th. The first withdrawal is on February 25th, and that's where we will withdraw 25% of your initial order cookies, minus all of the payments that you've received through digital cookie in credit cards and Venmo and PayPal. So what that means is that more than half of our troops don't owe us any money at the outset, especially those who are heavily using digital cookie and all of the marketing emails and that sort of thing. The troop guide has calculations and specifics about the withdrawals for you. The big thing, and I think it might be on the next slide here, Kim, is to let us know if you have an issue. If you have a problem, if you think you have a problem, if you think you might maybe smell a problem, please speak up. Let customer care know, your service unit cookie manager, other troop leaders, whoever it is, explain what the problem is, who the problem is, whatever it is, so we can help you ASAP. As the calendar moves forward, we have fewer and fewer options of ways to help you. And so this really is critical. Don't let problems fester. You're also empowered to take action. So if a family isn't paying, withhold cookies. That's fine. This is a business transaction. Speaking of, these are real transactions with real money, and every penny belongs to the girls in this council. I will say it one more time for emphasis. Every penny earned during this program belongs to the girls. So we will call the police if necessary. We will contact authorities. We will prosecute. So if funds are being stolen from girls, that is not tolerated. Not on a personal level, not on a professional level. We do not let that happen. Next slide, please.
Additional money thing, we recently found out that some banks will accept like an order for change. So if you know you've got 50 cookie booths in the first 2 weeks and you need additional fives and ones, your bank may be able to do an order for fives and ones for you to pick up later in the week before your booths need to start. So check with your bank and see if that's something that you can do. I would recommend doing that sometime, beginning of February before booths need to kick off and actually start.
Absolutely. And then our cookie donation program is called Operation Cookie. It's in the system as a virtual cookie share, which means you don't need to take possession of the cookies. The council handles it on our end. We give the cookies to organizations that distribute the cookies to veterans and active military. And you will often have folks say, keep the change, especially with a 20, many $20 bills are out in circulation, and they'll often get 3 boxes of cookies for that $20, and then they get $2 change. When they say keep the change, you can keep the change in your cookie pouch, in your money box, whatever, and that funds must be used to buy cookies for Operation Cookie. We cannot solicit cash donations. We are soliciting them to buy cookies on behalf of themselves to donate to Operation Cookie. We cannot have a tip jar, a donation jar, anything like that. We have lots of ideas of ways to increase the donation purchases that are listed here on our slide, and some photo ideas as well. Next slide, please. So your action items for today. Get out there and familiarize yourself with Cookie Central. Again, that's clicking on the word cookies on the upper right of our menu. Make sure you've signed the True Cookie Manager contract and are registered for the season. Hold your cookies in camp meeting. Have the families attend the cookie kickoff Zoom if there's still time on December 18th. Or have them watch the video. It'll be on our YouTube channel, which is again on Cookie Central. Then look for those smart cookie emails and then digital cookie registration emails, and have your Girl Scouts attend a cookie rally. They are fabulous. And I think our next slide is a wrap up. Thanking you for being here, for taking the time to do the training, but also thank you for providing all of the great programming that you provide to Girl Scouts, either through the troop model or otherwise. We know that we have excellent programming, and we can't provide it all without volunteers like you. So thank you very, very much. Because this is a recording, we aren't able to take your questions live. So we will invite you to either scroll back if you have questions and see if we maybe answered them. Take a look at our Cookie Central, maybe the family guide or troop guide has it in there, or send us a message to customer care. That is the best way to get one of us, and we will happily answer those questions and concerns as soon as we can.
A lot of questions might also get answered on our FAQ page. So there are a couple throughout the troop guide. There's a couple of QR codes that link directly to our FAQ and updates page. It is a live Google Doc, so we can update it all the time. Occasionally, you might go check it, and we have a bright yellow banner at the top with the next date on it, meaning we are currently updating it. But that is the second best place for information and updates next to reading those cookie news emails.
All righty. Well, thanks again. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.